Android. I said the
All
Android.
right,
What's
we're
going on,
just
ladies and
gonna
Air.
gentlemen?
forget
This
that.
episode of the Breaks Radio. I'm
Black
your
Air
favorite
Force
host,
One.
CEO Hayes, and I'm
Hey,
joined by my
Marky, you got some Black
lovely
Air Force
and
One?
family. First up, Miss Mary Almonte is here. We also got Mr. Bailey, the great BTG.
Yeah, I need to know.
Well, I love how you're like we. Like, were you going to
It's funny you
assist
said
her?
my daughter literally just had me order her some Black Air Force Ones, and my immediate
Feel
response is,
you.
"All right, who we sticking up?"
That's the dad right there.
Because it like she always wears black. She has a bunch of hoodies. It's like you're either doing home invasions or you're sticking people
Shout
up,
out
and
to
there's
White
no in
Jesus
between.
and the Heights.
Mm,
I
Uh,
mean, yeah, I gotta make sure she gets away with it. Come on now, come on now. And then we also got the Red Wine Connoisseur, aka the Hip Hop Historian Marquise in the building, and we'll definitely be getting into that shit. But we got some topics this week. Mary's not excited about talking about In the Heights, but we're gonna get into it a little bit. But first off, Jay-Z is apparently in some legal trouble, and this is not something you hear often from Jay-Z. He's actually in a legal battle over with a photographer over pictures that were taken back from Reasonable Doubt, and the photographer selling them. And this has opened up like a whole another
I
like
think that
conversation over ownership and how that can
I'm
come back
surprised
and
it
kind of
took
bite
so
it in the
long
ass. Like as a
for
photographer,
this to
you
happen.
usually own the copyrights over
Jonathan
photos that you
Mannion
take
is
when you're
one of the
releasing them out.
biggest
So this subject will be taken
photographers
in.
in the
But
industry.
this one, Jay
So
Z says that the
this,
photographers
I will say
capitalizing off
this,
his likeness. What do you
as
guys think about this
working
one? Mary, I'll come to you
in
first.
not just entertainment but in publishing, there's been a big crackdown lately on, you know, basically using pictures uncredited, or basically exploiting the art of photography. So
Mm-hmm.
I see both sides of it. I don't know. I feel like this is a big one though, because that's a big fish right there. So
so what it is that what he didn't get paid for it or what's going on? Right.
Definitely, definitely. Baylor, what do you think? Or are you sitting there mean mugging the camera? No, so let's say you hired me to come do a photo shoot for you, whether it's for an album cover, personal, whatever. The photographer owns the copyrights to those photos, always. So let's say you take one of those photos,
Oh no
you use
no
it for
no
your album
Jay.
cover. The
Oh no,
rest
you
of those
gotta sit that
photos
one
I
out.
own wholly. You're basically
Now you gotta
leasing
sit
the
that
right
one
to
out.
use your own
Oh
likeness
good.
and
Pay the
photo
man.
on your album cover. Anything else from that photo shoot, I own. The photographer is
I
reselling
mean, could
old
there have been a
photos of him
conversation
with Jay
prior?
Z. Jay
Like, can we
Z's
come
not
to an
getting a
agreement
cut
before
off
we
of it,
actually went
and Jay Z's not
right.
to this route?
suing him for the rights
I mean,
to
there
it.
had to be some type of agreement or something. Like, look, or another deal could have been struck or something, but it didn't have to go this far.
What do you think, Marky? Yeah. I
Mhm.
I think what's happening with this is that a lot of these were done when Jay Z was much younger. He wasn't as business savvy. He probably didn't even know. Now, after him becoming the boss that he is, he of course probably knows that now. It's probably in any contract he does with any photographers. But back then,
I think,
he just
yeah.
didn't
Number
know.
one,
People
because
don't know the
he would
game
open
of
up the
that
door
now.
for another
So are
collaboration
we
or
saying
something.
that
Like,
the
bigger
photographer who
things could have happened if he
is
reached
in
out
this
to him and said,
complete
look,
legal
I,
right to
I'm
use
going to
that
republish these pictures. I'm going to do some things with these
should say he
pictures.
should have
Just
reached
want to
out
give
and
you get
said,
the
"Yo, I
okay,
need that
whatever
back.
like
These
that.
are
If you're open
pictures.
to it, let's
Let me
do
get your
another, like a
blessing.
reshoot,
Sell
like
these.
a
You can get the
revisit
profits
to the
and everything."
Reasonable
You're
Doubt,
saying that's
with
what
your
the
new
shoot
look and
the
everything.
shoot
It could have
was.
been a much bigger, better story than Jay-Z and the media getting sued again. You know what I mean? Or suing somebody, and then you makes him look bad because you're a billionaire, crushing or going after a photographer. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude doesn't have. We don't know how much money he has for legal battles and everything. Jay-Z's probably going to tie this up this is unnecessary. And this is what I'm talking about. We need to be reaching out to each other, working with each other. But I think this could have been a real beautiful opportunity, especially, repurposing or reenacting the Reasonable Doubt album cover with new Jay-Z. Then it could have been a whole new Reasonable Doubt album or something like that, or something dope, like a good marketing campaign. But now we just see a legal battle.
And I like the idea that you went like reaching out to Jay, maybe doing a where it started, how it started, where it is now type of photo shoot with maybe him and his children.
Yeah, because
but I mean,
going after Jay-Z right now, he might get shunned.
You own something, and who knows? He may have needed
Yeah.
that money. I mean, he's not in the wrong legally, but morally, I think that's where the question is coming from. Because could he have shot himself in the foot, and hurt his business long term? So I mean, there's a lot of it. True. All right, moving on to topic number 2 for today. Kevin Hart finally responds to people who says that he's not funny, which
he's not funny.
It's always crizy to see like how somebody
he's not funny.
almost can do no
but
wrong,
I mean,
and then how
the fact that you have to respond to it, like,
saying Kevin Hart isn't
why do
funny,
you need to step down and
think,
bless the people? You already made your money. You're already successful.
and
He's doing serious movies now.
to some of his detractors.
Who cares? I don't care what you have to say. All you have to do is sit online and talk about how funny I'm not while I'm sitting there making movies and laughing to the bank. But he really isn't that funny. So it's the same skit. It's basically recycled, the same cadence, the same delay. It's the same punchline from the previous. It is what it is. I'm not knocking it. He made his money. The thing about comedy, what makes it comedy is you relate to it and you just take something serious and make it, bring light to it, and everybody laughs at it. Laugh at my pain kind of thing. But he really has nothing else to talk about. Like, I'm kind of tired of his life. You really can't talk about how broke you are or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what else is there to talk about? So continue making movies. But is Dave Chappelle funny? Dave Chappelle isn't funny. He's just fucking brilliant. No, there's a difference. Brilliant. It's the way he delivers it. Yes, it's fucking hilarious. The content itself is real as fuck. It's just the way he delivers it. Again, he's also diverse when it comes to his delivery. So that's not Kevin Hart.
Yeah. Dave Chappelle's fucking hilarious. But yeah. Yeah, so the Kevin Hart's exact quote, I've been the highest grossing comedian in entertainment for years now. I've also been the highest grossing comedian in the box office with over $4 billion in earnings. I've also turned my comedic talent into a place of business and branding and radio and other revenue streams. The hate slander fuels me to do it more. And it absolutely should. It should. You should be able to take hate to fuel you to do something more positive. And the fact is that even if they think he's not funny anymore, it's not stopping him from making any fucking money. It's not stopping Netflix for paying for his special.
Comedy gold.
Not stopping any of that shit. And I would honestly like to see
Paul Mooney would have wrote it for Richard Pryor.
That's what I would have. Yeah. That's what some of the greats would have done. That's what Dave Chappelle would have done. That's what.
All right, so I'm not.
If the public turned on Richard Pryor,
I get it. I don't think he's that funny either. I do think he's funny. I just don't think he is as funny as the people that we looked up to, that we listened to. So there is a level of funniness that he has. But Marquise is right though. It seems like I think his delivery is not bad to me. At some point, the content has to change, right? So, but it's just like how older rappers that we talk about that come out with albums, what are you going to talk about? You're not poor anymore, is what he said. You know what I mean? So we're not getting those jokes anymore of the struggle. So I guess it's just the content. And again, you got the numbers. He has the numbers. He provided us with the numbers. And what we gotta realize is that there's more people that watches him outside of the United States in general, outside of Philly or whatever. You know what I mean? Wherever his core fan base is, You got fans all over the world, so that's going to help. Yeah, I mean, especially them, they're going to help with the numbers. But it just seems like with the black community, man, we're a tough crowd, even when they are successful. So again, I don't think he's not funny. I just don't think he's as funny as the greats. And we have some hell of a
White people.
we got a that's a long list of like classic legends right there. You know, and most of them are dead and gone. And they just had different content back in the day as well. So
Real quick, he never actually addressed it. They said he's funny. He just went through his resume. That's not really addressing shit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it speaks to content nowadays. Content on
if
almost
you if
every
you,
platform doesn't have the punch of if you measure it to back in our time, us coming up.
I think
Music
that
doesn't,
addressing
comedy
haters is
doesn't,
corny.
film probably
Um,
does more
it's
than
kind of
any
like
other form
Marquis
of
just
media. But
said. It's
it's
like
the same.
citing
It
your
happens.
success
Everything
doesn't
grows and
necessarily
changes. And Kevin
equate to
Hart has
being
reached that
funny.
point to where he's
Um,
white people funny.
I feel
They're
like
gonna carry him through the rest of his fucking
is
career. Mary,
relative,
what do you
right?
think?
Like what you think is funny, I may or may not agree with. Like that's all like up to the individual. So I think that he should just keep it moving and keep doing what he does. Basically.
what's the do we? I'm pretty sure we don't. But what's the demographic of people that say they don't really like him? Because it seems like this is the thing with the newer entertainment in general. When you talk about LeBron James, you're still gonna have the Kobe's and the MJ fans talking. When you talk about Drake, you're gonna have the Jay Z's and the Nas, and even in his class, the Kendricks and the Coles and stuff like that. So it's like these other people that I'm talking about, they got the numbers as well. They just wasn't a part of that generation where it was golden. You know what I mean? And we didn't, the content is different. The style of basketball is different. The style of comedy is different now. And to me, it is pretty impressive for him to stay relevant nowadays because, you can't get that type of comedy that we had back in the day, especially not in the 80s and the 90s. So, but I don't think they know how to
I mean,
maneuver
yeah,
around that
it's.
because
I
of the
mean,
cancel
yeah.
culture. I mean, he
No,
just
I don't.
he
I don't.
just he
And
just
that
he
goes back
just
to what we talk about, like I
cleaned
said, with
himself
content in
up
general. It's
about the
missing
tweets that
the
he
teeth.
had.
That
Bro, we
missing
didn't
the
we,
rawness.
we
Like
didn't we didn't we
everything's
didn't have we
presented
wasn't
like
canceling anybody
almost in
back in the
this
day.
too clean way, and that's what some of that
Mm,
issue comes from, at least in
yeah,
my
but
opinion.
so, but think about that. Imagine Dave Chappelle being
That
canceled. Like,
is true.
let's try to cancel Dave Chappelle. And
Go
some of the shit he
beyond,
says,
I
that
would
ain't
go
happening.
beyond that. I would go beyond that
That's a good
because
point,
Dave
bro.
Chappelle showed that he could step into any arena with anybody sitting in the audience and rock
We're
the
not
crowd.
really
But I'm
canceling
talking about like
nobody
the
right now, as
earthquakes.
evident when we
You know
talk
what I'm
about those
saying? Like,
retaliation
comedians like that, that the type of content that they used to come with on Def Comedy Jam. That shit don't fly anymore.
Yeah. I mean, things got really politically correct, so now it's there's certain. Mm, yeah,
Right,
even
right.
Martin Lawrence's stand-ups would have been.
So Dave Chappelle still walks that line. He says, "What if I'm Asian?" Or what else did he
That's true.
say?
But
Faggot.
you also said
I
that
mean, if you look
he
at like
words it
Eddie
and
Murphy
structured
with
it a
Raw,
certain way
the
to
deliveries,
where
that shit would have got him
he's
canceled too.
hit the way his delivery. That's what matters. That's what matters. It's there's a difference between me seeing you in the street and saying what's up. There's a gang of different ways I can say what's up with you. So, what's up to you? It could be threatening, or it could be just yo. I'm just acknowledge you as a brother. So it depends on how you deliver the message. Nowadays they cannot do that. They cannot do that at all. And then but I even go to the white comedians. Some of them we like some of the white comedians because someone wasn't afraid to have black jokes. They definitely can't come with no black jokes these days. We're not
There's a
having it.
reason for that.
But that's what I'm saying. Everything has changed nowadays, so you have to structure your jokes a certain way. Maybe he battles with that. I know he got a writing crew. You know what I mean? And then again, the authentic comedy came from.
Mm. Listen, I think we throwing Kevin Hart too much bail. Kevin Hart got to the place where he can make a room of white people laugh, and he makes those same jokes over and over again. I get what you're saying about cancel culture. I get what you're saying about it impacting, but at the same time, these artists become
All right, so let
lazy
me
once
ask
they
y'all a
get to that
question.
certain
Just
level of
quick,
success.
yes or
And I
no.
truly feel
Does
that
he
that's
have
okay.
a
And not
classic
and
stand up?
not to his discredit. He found a way that he can print
Marquise
money
over there looking
every
hard.
single time he releases something. So hats
It
the
would
fuck
have
off to
been
him.
if everything
But
didn't sound just like that
I
first
mean,
one.
I think
If
he's
it
definitely a
wasn't
comedian
built
still.
upon the same platform, he kind of diluted the first one. So
Was the
I don't know
first
anymore.
was the
I don't want to
first
go back
one
and watch
good
it.
though?
Put it this way. No, it was good. Of course, it was good. Was it great? I don't know. I can go back and watch Dave Chappelle's shit, and like I can't go back and watch Kevin Hart's. Like I don't find it classic material anymore. No, not definitely not. Let me explain.
Let me explain. It was pineapples, right?
Probably a grown little man. Yeah, yeah.
Which one are you giving
I
him
don't
as a
know.
grown little man, or let me explain as a classic?
I didn't hate
Okay.
his last one. I mean, it wasn't
So you
classic,
so
but
you're saying
I laughed
I
so
would.
you're
twice.
saying I'm a grown little
I
man.
laughed
Yeah,
What?
twice.
I
The
didn't hate it.
closest that he came to
I
a
laughed
classic
twice.
in your opinion. Okay.
I chuckled.
I,
You got a
I
lot of
apologize.
backlash off of that
what
one.
do you think?
The
He
one you was
did.
talking about the greeters. That was. I know he said something
Well,
else. What
and
other
and
nerds said
I
that?
I appreciated his stories of parenting his daughter.
The Netflix joint?
Yeah.
If you have a daughter, and again, it's not like you said. There's no risk involved. It's like, all right, I'm just gonna be the family man. Let white people in my house. This is how I'm living.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't put
I,
him down as one of the great comedians if that's what we're asking. But
Sounds
I
debatable.
don't think
But I
he's
mean,
not funny either.
I was just thinking that in my head, but you know what? Besides the bracket, I would just say let's just rank them in general.
all right. Is it
How
do,
many?
do,
How
do
many?
we still have a
What's
bracket
a
coming up?
16,
Do we
right?
do a best comedian ever
15
bracket?
is good.
16. 16.
Si-
Yeah, brackets. It's
16.
like 8.
No, we just let's just rank it.
Well,
But
next
let's
week on
do
the Burst
16
Radio,
names
we'll
each
go over our
and see what we
respective
come up with.
best. We'll see
Okay.
if we can come up with a
16, that's a
consistency,
lot.
and
That's
then
Okay.
we'll do
easy.
our
Is
I can
it?
think of 10
individual
off the
top
bat
10.
right now.
All
You
right.
know that you
Next
can pull
week.
16.
Next week.
16? Well, no. He's saying instead of doing brackets, let's just come up with a best of list. We'll see. That's a lot, bro. All right. Next week. Uh, Next topic. Chrissy Teigen. Uh, Apparently is a hell of a bully. Bullied a designer from Project Runway, Michael Costello, to a point where he said that it made him suicidal. Now, Chrissy Teigen has had quite a
I
bit of like different
I'll take it.
controversies
I
over the
kind of hate
last
this
couple
for
of
her
years that have come out kind of the
because
wrong
this
way.
is old
Um,
and it's
I
like
don't think it's reached
resurfacing
any level of
now,
her being
and
canceled.
she's
Maybe
apologized
I just
for it,
haven't
and
paid attention to Chrissy
I don't
Teigen
know.
Twitter response or whatever.
So they're
I
just
mean,
bringing
don't
it
get me
back
wrong.
up again.
These
Yeah,
allegations. Who wants to take this one away first?
there's no excuse for bullying people or whatever, but
Okay.
she literally has said she hated who she was back then. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
I don't,
How long ago was this?
I'm not sure, but it was definitely years ago.
Oh, damn.
So I imagine what the stress of being a black woman in entertainment and prestige demands. I'm not making excuses. I don't know, but again, it seems like shit resurfaces years later, and now people are dealing with consequences.
Is she
Bill
black
Cosby.
though? I didn't think
She's
so.
black and Filipino, from my understanding.
No, she's not.
She's not. She's not half black and Filipino.
No.
Oh, then you know what? She did that shit. No, she did that shit. No. No, for real though. Look, I don't know. We see this a lot, like Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, and all that stuff like that. Shit just comes back. It comes back to haunt you.
Well,
seriously.
R. Kelly is not in that category.
I love how you went from
goddamn, oh way off.
Oh, she's not half black. Oh, she did that shit.
Ain't no black anywhere in there. It is, but
what do you have to say, Hayes?
His mom is from Thailand and her dad is from he's Norwegian.
Oh no. I think even though I think it's serious allegations, I'm like, yo, if this was like 5 years ago, the fact that it's resurfacing and stuff like that, you kind of question people's motives at the end of the day.
You killed that one for me. I can't say anything after that. Bailey got anything. True, and like I said, like she had some more recent stuff pop up. So this coming up, it does make you question, like, all right, what if any there's a motive behind it? But again, and like I like to say, is that when it comes to victims, you can't always say like, all right, why is it just coming in now? Because maybe something made him feel comfortable to come forth with it. He said he's been blacklisted. I'm sure he's been dealing with it all this time. So if because it is something that she's apologized about, it is something that's happened. I mean, you can't really put a time.
She's lost a lot of her endorsement deals and stuff too as a result of this. So,
but at the same
and you know
time,
what sucks? She was like one of the people, one of the celebrities that was like a friend of mine in my head. And now I'm like canceled. But there's many people who are now canceled to me that I once look up to, which we'll talk about soon, I suppose. Yeah, no thanks.
John Legend is missing an opportunity. He needs to do one of those TikTok videos where it's that's my woman. I'm gonna stand by her. Moving on. Let's get into some new fucking music. Guys, all the brilliant things. I put this on the list because I listened to this.
I listened to 5 songs. I didn't get through it. I've been doing a lot this week. It's been a hectic week. I do want to review it next week, though. Give you my full, undivided attention. They deserve that. Production. I know you took some production that felt like 90s, 2000s, and added a little to it. But I'll give it more thought next week. Tell you what, I listened to that more than I listened to Migos' album.
Well, the sad part is I've listened to Migos' album but didn't get to this. So
I'm in the same boat. I'm in the same boat with Mary. Like, I thought that the Migos would have been a highlight, and I didn't even finish that because I have something bad to say.
The cult
next week.
Sure.
Well, ain't nothing but a little bit of straightening.
Ain't nothing.
Okay.
Oh. We might as well go back to that album. Oh my God!
For next week, in the interest, just because this podcast is a day late, and part of that was because of the Verzuz. do we want to say anything about the Verzuz before we get into the next thing?
No.
Okay, this is listen. First of all, and I'm just gonna say this just because I know people are gonna look for us to say it. This was the quickest Verzuz for a fucking reason. This shit
Well, let me
literally should have been a
no, I'm
prelude
just
to
saying
the
this real
actual
quick.
Verzuz. They figured
I
this shit
know
out.
it was bad
I
because
love
I
both
didn't
of
see
those women. They're
nobody
highly
talk about
talented
it.
pioneers for
I didn't
hip
see
Yeah.
hop,
no clips. I didn't see no
women's
still
hip hop
frames, no
at
nothing
a
on the
period of time.
timeline.
Like I said, highly talented. Don't
Yeah,
fuck. I
man,
do not knock
it
their
was
careers at
bad.
all.
I
But that
got
is some
all
bullshit.
NBA
Mary, what do you
news
think?
and pop pictures, and I got pinged inside the clubhouse, and I was there for a while, so I was like,
Yay.
nah.
Yeah, I was at a work event.
On Pac's
To
birthday,
see it
no
live, but
less.
I did catch some clips after. I mean, listen, the only thing I'll say is I appreciated that Trina really brought out some dancers and really tried to put on a little show. But yeah, I don't know. I had to dig to find things. So that's usually your inclination that it wasn't that great. But that's disappointing because I love Eve and I respect Trina. So
About as quiet as that Verzuz playing in my house.
I like the way you worded that. Marquis, you've been awfully quiet about this verse.
oh no, this was not what I was saying. I had hot takes about. I never canceled Doja Cat. So and you know what? I actually like her music.
Doja Cat needs to
This
know.
isn't her best song
A
though,
video
but
is dropped. Song is dropped.
I
Album's
like her
coming.
music.
Mary, you said I don't know if this is what you were saying. You got hot takes about. What do you think about Doja Cat's new song? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like a weirdo, but I like it.
It took me. It took me a while to admit I like Doja Cat's music. Like it was
I'm
always
with
one of those
you know,
things.
me
Like
and Mary be
it
rolling
wasn't
because I
necessarily
never
turning
did
me off.
cancel her
Then I had to
either,
realize
especially not visually.
she's batshit ass
So
crazy and dumb sometimes, but she's fucking talented.
yeah, I know.
Boy. It's like
Uh,
that. You would cancel Baylor? We crew though.
Over Doja,
CMB,
huh?
hey, CMB, we all we got.
Wow.
If you did, I'd cancel you.
Didn't hear it. It was a rough week. It was a rough week, man. Moo, 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 moo.
That long ass Migo album. That's what it is.
Oh man. Okay. Marquis, you got anything to add? What the? Listen, come on, man. Come on, man. That's.
You said how many times you listened to it?
Listen,
And if you
bro.
listened to it the day it came
So I've
out,
listened to
you
that
just
whole
now
album
finished it.
probably about a time and a half. All I can say is, if we got
For
any
real.
Migo fans, y'all don't want to listen to next week's
Everything.
episode. Y'all don't want to listen to next week's episode. I'm gonna go ahead and throw you some bail right now. Go ahead and skip it. I listened to it 1.5 times so far.
They did not.
Yo, yo, wait,
They didn't switch their ad libs up or nothing.
yo, time
Bro,
out, time
you know
out.
what's so bad about that
Song
album?
about
It's
talking
like
about a
Migos
chick
are
with
tired.
fake
They're
ass.
tired of
And
rapping
then he said,
in
but
their
if
own
you have a
style.
fake ass,
Like,
you know,
there's
do you,
always
it's
been some
yours.
energy.
I was like,
That album literally sounded like, hey, we gotta do
All
some
right,
real
y'all.
shit
All right,
again.
y'all.
Like,
We gonna save it.
we mixing it up?
We gonna
No,
save
no.
it.
We're keeping
shit
it
on
the
his
same.
own shit. Oh,
Nothing. Bro, so afraid to get canceled. Like what? All right, we gotta say that for next week. That next week is gonna be a hell of a show. Moving on. So, In the Heights came out. What I'll say before we get into the controversy, In the Heights as a film Songs are all catchy. I love the way that they mix the different styles of music between reggaeton and
Okay,
Latin
so
and hip hop.
setting the
I love
stage
that.
here, right? I
The movie
now
is too
have been
goddamn
a
long.
huge
There's
super
no reason
fan
that that
of
movie should have been almost
Lin-Manuel
2.5
Miranda,
hours.
right?
It
Like
makes no
I
motherfucking
saw it in the
sense.
Heights in
So comments
2007,
on
I
the
want to
movie
say,
before
off
we get into the
Broadway when he was
shits.
Usnavi
What do you, Mary?
and
What do you have to say about
the
In the Heights?
original cast, right? Fell in love then, mesmerized, magical, all of that, right? Then saw it again on Broadway when Corbin Blue played Usnavi. Um, you know, waited in the fucking cold for his autograph for my daughter, whole 9 yards, right? Whatever. So I even went and saw high school high school play renditions of it because I love this play, the play so much, right? Um, and then that really opened me up to like a whole world of Lin Manuel, right? Like Freestyle Love Supreme. I went and saw that on Broadway. Also a very dope documentary on how that all came together on Hulu, right? Because setting the stage again, basically In the Heights was born when Lin Manuel was in college at Wesleyan University with all of his close friends who were all like theater majors as well. And they wrote In the Heights at the same time as they put together Freestyle Love Supreme. All right. Like it's a phenomenal, inspirational story. Literally. If you are ever seeking inspiration or feeling like you ain't doing shit, watch the Freestyle Love Supreme Hulu documentary and you'll be like, whoa. So immense amounts of respect, right, for like the creator of this film. Um, all right. So and then Hamilton, of course, huge fan of that. So anyway, the movie was great, right? Like bullshit aside, it's not easy to convert a movie from a play and they did it really well. They eliminated some songs, they eliminated some characters, and they eliminated some storylines which we'll get into when we get into the controversy. But they did a really great job of turning a play into a film and also a really great job of making that a real love letter to New York, to the Heights, because that was the Heights where they shot it at authentically. And they really did make it beautiful, right? And yes, the screenplay is great. The songs are infectious. I mean, I literally used, when I first saw the play, I used to throw on the soundtrack so much so that my daughter, like when she was small, knew the words word for word. So, like all the songs, right? It's dope. And it really, like, he's inspired by hip hop, right? And like you just said, he melds hip hop with bachata, with salsa, with a little reggaeton. They even put in some Spanish trap, like, to make it modern. Um, I thought it was dope. They even had some classic, like, merengue like song in there. So the movie itself was definitely quality. I'll stop there.
Oh, I ain't watched that shit. Oh no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. I ain't watching for a reason. I'm not gonna watch it for that reason. So my dear friend would say, "I sell him."
Shame on you. Shame on you, Marquise. I didn't watch that shit either. Now, now look,
You're
now look.
fired.
The
You're
only
fired.
reason is
Bailey, did you watch
because
it?
the only reason is because I wasn't able to get to it. That's all. I am gonna watch it though.
All right, we'll get into that. Bailey, did you see In the Heights? Okay. All right, let's get into the controversy. So there has been quite a bit of
Okay.
controversy to come out of this because
So
of
I
the
didn't even want
lack
to talk
of
about this
Afro
shit, by the
Latino
way,
and
everyone,
black
but
people in the
Hayes
film.
made me.
Mary,
Because this is
I
very
don't want
personal
to
for
kick it
me,
back to you
right? Not just
just
being from
because
New
you're in
York.
New York, but I
I
know you
am
have
married
a
to
more
a
of an
black
inside kick
Dominican
to
man
add to
and
why there's such a controversy on
who
this.
has
Go ahead and
roots
give it away. I
in
just
the
want to make sure I
Heights.
give it the best respect
And my
possible. So go
best
ahead.
friend is a Dominican woman from the Heights as well. I spent a lot of time there. Used to like sleep at her house for extended periods of time. And the the picture of that film is not the picture of what you see when you go to the Heights. Um, the Heights I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen the memes already floating around or whatever. The Heights is predominantly Dominican, right? And I get it. Like, it seems like Lin Manuel wanted to depict, um, like the diversity of the Latino, different countries. So, like, there were Puerto Ricans, there were Cubans, there were Mexicans. But, what the Heights is known for is being Dominican. And to be honest with you, when you go up there, you see a lot of blackness. So it was like, how can you call something in the Heights and it doesn't look like what the Heights really looks like? It literally felt so much so, it literally felt intentional that there were no Afro Dominicans or Afro Hispanics, for that matter, cast at all in any lead role at all. Maybe you saw a couple of backup dancers, but it was like, for the most part, what I call whiteinos as all of the leads. And then you had Corey Hawkins, who killed it. He killed it, by the way. Great job he did. But one of the major scenes from the play that got cut out of the movie was, there was a controversy between Corey Hawkins' character, whose name is Benny, who is black, dating one of the, main characters, who is Hispanic. And her parents vehemently objected to the relationship. There was a whole fucking song about it. And all of that shit got cut from the movie. So, to be honest with you, if I had any doubt that they didn't intentionally not cast any Afro Hispanic actors and actresses, then the deletion of that scene kind of played into that narrative even further. Like, they just wanted to completely have no spotlight shined on any kind of blackness, basically, or issue with blackness. So I take issue with that, to be honest with you. And, I was really disappointed in that, really heartbroken. I went to the fucking movies for the first time since COVID just to support this movie. To give you an idea of how, like, I've been waiting for this movie. It's like a year late. And I've been counting down, super hype. So this is like such a disappointment for me. It's caused a lot of hurt and pain for people that I know. They were triggered by this shit. People who my family, you know what I mean? Um, no, I mean, he apologized and I appreciate the apology, but it is like the damage is done, bro. Like, I mean, and then the Root basically interviewed some of the actors from the film and put them on the spot. So shout out to homegirl whose name I forgot right now, but she's an Afro-Cuban journalist from the Root. She put them on the spot, and literally they were, they also put the director on the spot, who was like, I didn't realize there was a colorism
Who
problem
was
in Latin
Asian?
America.
Who was Asian?
Right. He's Asian. I think his name's Jonathan Chu. Then they asked some of the actresses, and they were like, well, a lot of Afro Latinos came to try to audition. So then it was like, okay, so why didn't any of them make it through? Like, that made it even more weird. So I don't know. It feels intentional. It's hurtful. And then, to add insult to injury, after Lin Manuel acknowledged it, apologized, and all that, then Moreno goes on the Late Show, and when was asked about it, basically credits Lin Manuel for bringing Hispanic culture to the forefront, and says that everyone should be praising him and everyone else should just be patient and wait their turn. And that made me see red. Like, that is the same language that us American Black people have been hearing for however many years. Wait your turn. No, the time is now. And diversity and inclusion is everybody's responsibility, especially when you have a platform like Lin Manuel has, or had, at least with this. So he missed the mark with that. It was beautiful in every other way, it was perfection in every other way. But this one was really not cool. Oh,
All right, I'm gonna say something just for the because I want to make sure that I agree with everything that you say. I but I just for point of contrast, I want to point this out. This is where the issue comes in at, where everyone wants to see themselves represented in everything that they feel like that that they have ownership over, or that it represents them, or that they have a part in. This movie I looked at before reading about the controversy and everything. I looked at it as it being a story about a small group of people in that they're in the Heights. I did not originally take it as this was supposed to be representative of everything that goes on in the Heights. It was a personal story about this interconnected group of people. And I get it that it's, for example, if someone is telling a story about a black community and it's like, well, where's the white people? If there's not any white people needed to tell the story, don't randomly insert white people. I feel the same way about black people. Story about Friends, for example, Friends. Everybody always says that there's no black people. Those motherfuckers didn't interact with no niggas. If they would have tried to insert black people in that shit, it would have felt phony as fuck and like pandering in a sense. So I don't.
Do you see your father?
This place that we're getting to, where
Do you
I
we
speak to your
started
see
pops?
thinking that.
diversity, but then we expect
You speak to your pops?
not every story is going to be
Okay.
diverse. Now, I haven't interacted with white people in 2 weeks, so if I made a
Well,
story about my life in
Because
Fran
the
I
stole
have.
the
Heights,
idea
there are
from
no
Living
going to be
Single
no white
anyway.
people in it at all. I have literally not interacted with a Caucasian in 2 motherfucking weeks. It's it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I texted him. I
That did
texted
it
him. All right,
better.
the obligatory random white person drop in. But I'm just saying. So like,
Well, wait.
no,
Can
they
I
didn't
make a
steal the
point
idea.
there?
They did not
Since Friends
steal
and
the
Living
idea. And
Single were
even
both
Living Single is not
set
the
in New York,
first
though,
show to depict
they were true
single
to the
people
neighborhoods that
living
they were in. In the
living
Heights,
like that.
fucked
And I
up
hate it when people
because
say that.
the Heights
What
doesn't look
happened is
like
that
what
the
they
person who
showed.
created Friends said, "I want to make a show like that," and then made one. They didn't steal the fucking idea. Nonetheless, yeah.
There is no corner of the Heights where you're not going to see black people walk by. I'm dead ass serious. Marquis can also tell you.
Marquis
But see,
Jr.
and that's what I don't take away from that. But like I'm just saying, from an outsider, for somebody who's never been to the Heights, I took
So
that as just meaning
well, two
it was
things.
this
Two things.
corner of the Heights that
Like
they were
Mary
just
said,
telling a story
the
from.
main
I
story
didn't
was
take
about
that as meaning
a problem they
Dominican.
I don't
had with
know.
the problem they
Okay,
had with the black man. And two, my
but then,
son
but okay,
is
but
from
okay.
Washington
With
Heights,
that
so I
being
went
said,
there
if
every
they threw
week.
if they sprinkled in a couple
I
more
didn't see
black
white
people in the
Latinos.
background with
I
that,
saw a
people still
majority.
would have been saying, "Why isn't there
Like
a black
that's
character?"
it.
Go ahead.
People who looked.
Like
You see what I'm
you.
saying?
For real.
So when it was pointed out, mira, hey, papi, look. Bottom line, but still, you know what you were looking at. Like that's what Washington Heights is. So when you think Heights,
Mm.
are you thinking like Jersey City Heights, or where there might be a bunch of Latinos, or Washington Heights? Because if this is Washington Heights,
And they
that's
call
not
it
what it
pop.
looked like. Everything I saw and everything that was pointed out to me, all the cast members
That's
who spoke out about the movie, I didn't see no shades darker. So
Well, and the weird thing is, none of them were even actually Dominican. So it was like, what are we doing here? I think Nino was Dominican. The rest of them were Puerto Ricans or Colombians playing Dominicans. Why?
one of them. Well, no, the main female character was Dominican. Yeah, Nina's Dominican.
Nah, now you're sounding like a
oh
dude who
no,
said there's not
no.
qualified black
Well,
people to
and that's the thing
hire.
too. Like with this
If
type
you
of musical,
audition
like yes, if it was just a film, it probably
auditioning
could have been easy cast. But when you look here,
audition
you're trying to
for
cast someone
people
who
to
looks a
try
specific
out for the Heights, and
features of
everyone
race,
who's
has the
Hispanic,
ability
I
to
assume
sing
knows about the
and
Heights.
dance,
Am I
it
wrong?
kind
If
of
you're going to be in
whittles
this
it
like a
down.
lot of people audition and they admit it. People that were darker auditioned for the
No, I'm
film.
not saying
They
that.
weren't
I'm not
chosen.
saying that. I'm just saying that it's a specialized. It's a
Well, I
specialized.
All of
know,
them.
Go
I
ahead.
know.
All
Not
of
Mm,
not
them.
near one though.
that's crazy.
Fun fact: my son was actually picked as an extra, but we were
Mhm.
actually in DR when they were filming, so he couldn't go. But yeah. Anyway, long story short, somebody there was a lack of
What if they just weren't
representation,
good
and
enough?
it felt very intentional. And again, if you saw the play and saw the shit they cut out from the movie, it was
I
like
mean,
they really were trying to take the spotlight away from the race related stuff, and it was like, why? I mean, I guess maybe they
Wait your
didn't want it
turn?
to overshadow. Right. And then the wait your turn thing is like,
Wow.
yeah.
No, I was just saying. I think I think we're at the point where I think we've been at the point like we don't like misrepresentation. You know what I mean? But at the same
Now
time, it's
that
like,
shit, that that
is
wait you
there a
got
thin
cat
line
was just super
between
fucking rude.
like
Miller,
picking
you've been kind of
someone
quiet
with
over
that
there.
familiar
Go ahead.
background or who's going to do the job right? You know what I mean? Because it takes me back to Snowfall. You know what I mean? I could have bitched about, well, why couldn't y'all find any actors or actresses that's actually from LA? But the actors and the actresses on that show are very fucking good. You know what I mean? So hey, it's not my backyard. I can't really say. I understand it though. I understand the backlash.
And I guess too for me, I think
Well, wait, there's controversy about
Lin
that too.
Manuel,
There's
like
controversy about how
I
he
personally have a hard
romanticized
time
slave
thinking that
owners.
maybe it was
And
a
there
studio
also is a
mandate. I just
controversy
don't. When
around
you look at
racism
how he
on the set
cast
of
all of his
Hamilton.
plays, those casts are so
Yeah,
fucking
Google it.
diverse
You
and
could.
all over the place. He
So
has
I
black
don't
people
know.
playing characters
Again,
that
I
weren't fucking
when I
black.
tell
Like
you
so,
that
it just
I like fell
where
in
they go
love with
left with
him
this.
like 15 years ago. So for me, this is yeah,
Mm,
exactly. But Freestyle Love Supreme, when I tell you, like, it was genius.
shit,
He made a Broadway play out of freestyle rhyming.
well fun.
Oh, like, I don't
Where'd you
know.
get that from?
All right, but then
Then I
that's a whole
found
other
out he wrote
conversation.
all the
Are
songs for
Hispanic people
Moana too,
culture
and it's like
vultures
this
when you,
dude's the shit.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not for, I'm not prepared to answer that. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not taking that either.
Well, I didn't either, and
Listen,
yet
that
here
is
we
not a
are.
conversation that
I
we are
said I didn't
going to
want to
have
talk
here.
about this
That's
shit.
I know I
you,
don't shy
I
away
mean,
from
when
you
it.
took us
motherfuckers
here.
One thing I will never
motherfuckers
touch
be
on
like
is
performing
Hispanics
on
and blacks
the
and
Super Bowl and
who's
saying
culture vulture. I'm
now it's
not
time
doing
for
that
us to
shit at all.
shine. Yeah, you
Well,
kind of
That's
that's
start
Civil
war
true.
War.
there.
I don't want to. I
I'm
That
don't
is
want to
sorry,
true.
bro. When
participate.
you separate yourself from us,
I can't.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So yeah, I can go there. I mean, look, yeah, be good. Let's move on.
Anyway, stop playing a goddamn song.
I have
What the
not.
fuck?
I
I don't
really
have
feel
it.
like a bum.
Marquis,
I don't even
Okay.
have it. I don't have nobody password.
I'm about to mute the shit out of Marquis. All right, moving on. Moving on from the heights to the shy. You guys caught up on the
Yeah.
season yet? I'm an episode behind too. I'm not even gonna lie. But it's not because it's not because the season has been bad by any. I honestly think this is way better than season 3 so far. It's just it's been so much fucking content to consume on top of life that it just slipped through unfortunately at this point. All right, moving on. Last topic of the fucking day. I want to talk about Loki and the MCU television shows, and the reason why I want to do this is because I realized sitting here watching Loki what the fuck Marvel did with
Mm?
these shows so far, the 3 shows that they did. They have given us 3 shows that will play some form into the movies, but that weren't fucking needed. They basically made turned scraps. They could have been a side plot into movies into full-fledged TV shows that have been amazing. And my question that I want to present to this: what the fuck has Marvel unlocked that these other studios haven't? Fucking DC can't even make a fucking Batman versus Superman movie that's good and coherent. But we're watching a fucking WandaVision,
I
a
mean,
Falcon
so
and the
I
Winter
only saw the
Soldier,
first
and
one
now a
so
Loki
far.
show that isn't even the same Loki
I
that we
mean,
know from the
I
movies.
like what they're
with
doing with
fucking,
it, where they've gone
like,
backwards.
it's fucking bananas what they've been able to do. And I know
I
we
don't know.
don't
I
talk a
got to
lot
be
about
honest with
Marvel
you.
shit
And
as
out
much
of
as we should.
all
I
of
know we're
like
all huge
the
Marvel fans
Marvel
of this.
actual films,
Who was
Thor
first
might
with
have
you?
been the least one that I was really into. But I'm intrigued now with this Loki series. So let's see.
You want to take this, Villa?
I was just gonna say, when it comes to Marvel, like they figured this out a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
I think they just stuck with it. And then once they seen us like gravitate towards like I guess you can call them C, B or C, D type of characters, and to build up their characters like that, like I think that's major, and that's ultimately, but they created a whole universe though, and that's the thing, and I feel like they not only have a team that's structured every, like I would say, like it's like different units, and they have a team for every unit, and they just know how to bring it together.
Mm-hmm.
They found a way to make the irrelevant relevant. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy was not one of my favorite comic books, and they brought that shit to life.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they've touched, the backstories, they made everyone interesting. And to me, it's like one of those things where you watch a show and then these summer episodes that kind of get you prepared for next season. That's what this is. Now you're watching everything, and everything you're anticipating is what's going to come in
Nobody's favorite
phase
comic.
4. Like, you know, some massive shit is about to happen because of all this that they're gearing up to. This is magnificent. DC can't get it together because they can't get Batman right. You can't get Batman right, you can't get anything right. You don't have the same Joker. You see what I'm saying? And you can't get Superman right. The three main characters, your three main characters, aside from Wonder Woman, if you can't get those right, you can't get it right. I mean, they went backwards with Lex Luthor. They fucked up Wonder Woman too. Like, there was no need for that movie. They fucked that up. This is why Joker was perfect. Like, but again, it doesn't seem like a movie that belongs in the DC universe, and that's the fucked up part. Marvel has figured out something, and they have the greatest minds behind all of this, creating it. It's a whole world I didn't see coming, seriously, and I'm glad they did it. It's fucking brilliant. Loki is low key dope as fuck. I saw the second episode. The direction they're going in right now, they're untouchable. There's nothing I wouldn't watch Marvel does right now except that movie that came out, the Mutants, whatever the Mutants, some shit that's on HBO Max right now that came out, and the whatever that fucking movie is. Oh, okay. Bottom line, they don't do wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that wasn't Marvel. That was Fox. That was left over from Fox. Though. That wasn't even Marvel did that. But the reason why I say this is special is because if you look at WandaVision, Wanda is going to be in the new Doctor Strange movie. And they already said that it's not, you don't have to see WandaVision to understand where she is in that movie. They made a whole show that was amazing, and that people who just don't watch it aren't going to miss out on anything. That's what's special about it, is that they found a way to tie all this shit in and still not necessarily need it if you just watch the movies. Same thing with Anthony Mack with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. For anyone who didn't see that show, that just saw Endgame and saw him pick up the shield, when he's in the next Marvel movie as Captain America, they're not going to have any fucking questions if they didn't watch the show. It's masterful what they're fucking doing. They took the Time Variance Authority and made a whole show about it with Loki. They only appeared in less than 30 comic books in over 60 years. And you've now made this a super interesting show that people are all
people need to recognize the reason all this happened is from one character, Iron Man. If it wasn't for that movie,
yeah,
now it's a
I
fucking
agree.
billion-dollar franchise. It's crazy. What they have unlocked here in the last 15 years has been fucking phenomenal. But see, and they had to, even Iron Man wasn't as big as what he is now. because they had to start with their B-level characters, it made them. They knew that the stories had to be on point, and they just fleshed it out from then. Like they didn't have Spider-Man then, they didn't have X-Men and Wolverine. Like now the fact that they
Absolutely.
But you know what, man? Shout out to Batman. Even though he got to get his
I can't wait
tires
to see what they
rotated
do
and he
now that
can't
they
fight in the
have their
sky.
A-listers because
That's
they
not our
made
problem.
B and C characters from the comic
Yo,
books.
you know how
These
serious this shit is? There's a
huge
chat
multi-million-dollar
online
or
that
billion-dollar
Batman
and
doesn't need pussy.
worldwide known names.
And
Now
that's
you
a
have the
whole big
big names
argument
that
for
are
people
about to
right
come
now.
out. And that shit,
Oh my
that is
God.
going to be special.
I'm dead serious. That's a whole big argument online.
Listen.
Not Christian Bale.
My
All I'm
bad.
saying
I
is
didn't mean to open that door.
it's
That's my
picture
fault.
What?
this.
What
That
There's
is
just
no
my
way in
fault.
hell
I
happened?
Batman is
apologize
not a
for that.
cunning linguist.
And which
And
Catwoman
you
are we
That
can't
was
talking
say
loaded.
about?
the
Better be Halle Berry, because you know.
the bat ears on top there is perfectly placed.
I mean,
There's no way. I don't believe it. The fact that they
Oh no, I was
let
just talking about
Batman
just the
eat
character
Catwoman's
itself.
pussy on TV.
but like 50 whatever year old Halle Berry, or are we thinking of Halle
I'll take
Berry?
her too.
Okay, carry on.
Let's get
That's
back to
the
the
worst
breaks.
comic book movie of all time.
Pump the brakes.
I mean,
Marvel's
Yeah, I'm
dope.
here for
it
it
don't
all.
matter what year.
Yeah.
July 1st.
Her and
That's
Nia Long,
when
it doesn't matter
Black
what.
Widow's coming out, right?
those
I was just
July
gonna ask
It doesn't
that.
matter.
Like, and
July
that's
6th.
another
July
one.
6th.
I've been waiting.
Yeah. No, I didn't see that.
I didn't either.
But anything left on Marvel and MCU? If not, we're gonna go ahead and sign off and go the fuck home. All right. All right. I can't wait.
You don't think they did that on
Did you see
purpose?
Somebody got
that they
fired.
released the
Because
wrong image?
I mean, I believe,
All I'm saying is that if you want to stay
I
spoiler-free,
believe
just don't
that
put
mistakes
anything that's
happen, but I
tagged with
also
Black Widow.
believe
Just leave
Marvel
it
be
alone
doing
because
shit, man.
there's a
You know,
huge
Marvel
image
be up
that
to shit.
spoils the end of the movie.
If it's that big,
that
I don't think they
literally
wanted us
had
to
to
know.
go in and scrub to get removed from the
They
internet,
like
and
this spoiler.
somehow got posted and they didn't mean it.
Maybe it might be something bigger. I don't know. But if
Somebody
not,
got fired.
yeah,
Bro,
you
Marvel doesn't
gonna
release
lose
spoilers.
your job.
How you get fired on your day off?
Mhm. I'm at Miss Mary Almonte on all
when I say this is huge,
platforms,
bro,
at Young Ever
huge.
Moms, and at Just Spice with the Y TV show. And yeah, bye.
Why is Gotham City so dirty? At Baylerism
Damn.
on
Man, go
Twitter,
ahead and
at
give me your
Baylor Red
social
on
media handle,
everything
bro.
else. Twitter still won't give me my old account. That is cool. Not.
I would say it's based off of Washington Heights, but you know, it's a lot lighter than we thought.
Oh.
I cannot.
You can find me at CEO Hayes.
Mm.
Give me your social
You
media, Marky.
you think Batman drink Hennessy?